Welcome to Jolene's Books and Writers Talk, where stories begin long before the first page, and writing is more than words on a screen. I'm your host, Jolene McFadden, and each week I sit down with authors and publishing professionals to talk about craft, creativity, and the real life behind the books. These episodes are sponsored by Southern Dragon Publishing. Please take a few seconds and hit the like button, share this and other episodes, subscribe to our channel, and even leave a nice comment below. Let's begin.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Smalls. I'm an author, I'm a mother, and I'm a breast cancer survivor. And I have written a book that helps people navigate the challenges that we all find in life. Unfortunately, sometimes life can throw you a curveball. And with that curveball, sometimes we just don't have the skill set to move from a positive place to a negative place. So my book is self-help, and it's also motivation to help us all push the button because sometimes we just find ourselves in a tight situation.
Your journey is the reason for the book, and it's a personal reflection of what you encountered and what you found during your journey.
Yes, I was actually diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2016. And when I went through that journey, besides being very stressful and very emotional, I was on an emotional roller coaster. I found that I needed support that didn't really exist for me. And part of my journey being diagnosed and being treated, I then went to do something about it once I got into survivorship. And part of the issue that I had is that when I was diagnosed, I did not see any images of women that looked like me who were fighting breast cancer. And that was really hurtful to me because I thought, I've got breast cancer. There are Latinas out there that have breast cancer, but there are no images, there's no information, there's nothing, there's no resources out there for me. So I founded my blog named Melanin and Pink Ribbon. And from that, The Natural Outgrowth was my first book, Push the Button. In that book, it is not specific to my breast cancer journey, but I do use examples from my breast cancer journey to help people to navigate the steps. And it's self-help, it is motivational, it's a short read. It's less than 60 pages for my folks out there who are not readers or who are not avid readers. It's the kind of book that you can pick up and read one chapter. And I include workbook pages for you to actually do the work in the book.
Mhm. And now that you're living in North Florida, have you found any resources here to help you get the word out about breast cancer?
Yes, having moved here, I have found that there are more online resources. And there is the Donna Foundation, which is actually in Jacksonville, that does a lot of grassroots work. I believe there's another organization called the Pink Ribbon Organization in Jacksonville that does a lot of resource work for all women who are fighting and trying to survive breast cancer.
Your book is self-published, or
Yes.
and as a new writer, what did you find the most challenging about creating your story?
I will tell you the most challenging thing was digging back into the past with the things, Miss Jolene, that you thought were, oh, I dealt with that already. That was back in 2000 and what? And not reliving, but just processing that with new eyes. So that was surprising because some stuff that I wrote about, I thought that I had already handled it and I thought I had climbed that mountain. And I had feelings that were attached, different feelings, but feelings that were still attached to some of those memories and life experiences.
Did you find that actually getting the book done help you as kind of a cathartic
Oh, it
experience?
helped me immensely because it allowed me to say, I have climbed that mountain. I can now help other people who need help. We all need help with different things at different times. And a lot of times, depending on your community, depending on your family, depending on your upbringing, we don't always get the skill set to cope. We don't always get that skill set to process. I know in my family, food was our coping mechanism, right? You having a good day, have a piece of cake. You having a bad day, have a piece of cake. You're celebrating, have a piece of cake. I have nothing against cake. Food isn't always a healthy coping strategy. So I try to give people coping strategies that are realistic, that are doable, but that in the end don't have a negative effect on you.
Uh, I know our love language here in the South is food.
Yes, it is. I was actually born in the North. I was the first generation in my family born in the North. So we were a Northern family that frequently, multiple times a year, went to South Carolina. All the time, spent summers in South Carolina, and it was hot and all that other good stuff. Food can be a love language for a lot of people. And we don't live in the society that we once did. When you're working in the field or you more agriculturally based, which the South was at that time. You getting up with the sun and you milking cows and you out working all day. It's different than when you're sitting in the North at a job at a computer or in a desk. It's just changed.
Yeah. Are you working on anything new, something different?
I am. Push the Button was my first book. My second book is the book that I actually needed as a breast cancer patient. It's a positive affirmation journal for
Oh,
breast cancer fighters and survivors. It's a basic journal, but what I include are positive affirmations wherever you are on your journey. If you're fighting breast cancer, you may have chemo, you may lose your hair, you may gain weight, you may lose weight, your physical body may change, you have lots of different emotions. So that is my second book, but I am currently working on a project I'm really excited about. It is a therapeutic coloring book for children whose moms are diagnosed with breast cancer. And I'm super excited about that because being in that landscape, I realized there are not a lot of resources for children. No one goes through breast cancer alone. Everyone in your house, your loved ones, they go through breast cancer with you. And it can be hard to be the patient, to be fighting, to be processing all of this doctor information. And you have these children, or you have nieces, nephews, grandchildren, you have the little kids next door who see that you look different. And it can be difficult to talk about that. So that's the current project that I'm working on and hopeful to have that published in the fall.
I know when I was younger, we just didn't talk about stuff like that, especially women's problems. We never really talked about that. And that didn't help future generations to understand and cope. Part of your book, I'm hoping you'll speak a little bit about that.
Yes. So I think that as a society and as a country, because breast cancer or other women's issues, and that's what they call them, right? They call them women's issues. They call them women's problems, right? But really, women have been having hysterectomies and all different kinds of surgeries since forever, right? So it's important that we all understand that folks in our history, our ancestors, they did the best they could, right? One of the things I discuss in my book is that my mom died. I was 13 years old, and I needed some counseling. I needed a support group, but that didn't exist. It didn't exist in my community. So it didn't exist in my family because you don't talk about those things. You hide those things. You deal with those things the best that you can. Right? And some people eat, and some people act out, and some people drank. People had all different kinds of coping mechanisms that weren't healthy. But now we have these great phones that are just a touch tone to everything. and you can go on your phone, you can go on your tablet, you can go on a computer, and you can find a support group. You can find information. You can find just other people who are going through. There are all kinds of Facebook pages and Instagram pages for people who are bird watching, to people who are bowling, to pick a topic, right? There is a page, a group, a blog, even a travel group about it. So that's one of the great things about living in this day and age, is that we have access to information, which is the key to change. And that's how you prosper. That's how you make it better. And you have to make little changes. My mom did the best she could for me, but I did more for my daughter because I knew more and I could talk more and I was comfortable talking about, this is your body, this is what happens, and that's how you make the difference. I think I'm a big believer in the power of one, that one person can change a lot of people along the way.
Very good. Have you ever thought about delving into the fiction realm?
I have thought about it. I have a couple of ideas in my head. I'm an avid reader, so I am a huge mystery fan. I love everything. I guess it goes back to my childhood and that doggone Nancy Drew. I had every Nancy Drew book there was. I read them and I enjoy a good mystery. So I am thinking about popping over there after I finish my coloring book. I'm also working on a women's devotional,
Oh, yeah.
a 60-day devotional entitled Women of Strength, just to help women. That's my assignment, Miss Jolene, is women, right? Because we are caretakers and we are nurturers, and we're taking care of the kids, the grandkids, the neighbors, the boss, the co-workers, the lady at church. We're taking care of the dog, the birds. We're taking care of everyone. And we're going to bed exhausted because we sometimes don't have enough for ourselves. Having lived through that and processed that, I want to help other women to just be better.
Is there any organizations that you can point to help another woman or even a man that might suspect that he has breast cancer because they get it too?
Yes, there's the Donna Foundation, which is in Jackson. I have found that Baptist Health also has the mobile unit that goes around in the neighborhoods. And I would also like to stress, in October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, pink all over the place, but there are 11 other months of the year where you could find a lump, you could have something that is suspicious, and the first point of contact should always be your medical team, your doctor. If you don't have a doctor, go to the emergency room and say, hey, I feel something here. And they can help you. They can absolutely help you. We're fearful. We put things out of our heads. And that's not the healthiest thing, because we all know that early detection is the best detection. If you find breast cancer early, if you find cancer early, you have a much higher survival rate.
Excellent point, of course. And you have to be an advocate for yourself. I found, and I was in the medical field for 25 years doing the office work and insurance verification, that sort of stuff. You have to be a tiger and an
Mhm.
advocate for yourself with the medical community and your insurance company.
Yeah, you have to be like a bear, right? Some people are timid, they're nice, and if that's not your skill set, you have that one person or those two people in your circle who are just like a pit bull looking for a bone. That's one thing I have learned. I think no matter what the illness is, but specifically if we're talking about breast cancer, get a friend. Get somebody to go to these doctor's appointments with you. You can't intake everything. You're emotional. Bring a pad, bring a pen, write your questions down, and bring that one friend who you trust, who knows your situation and can say, hey, if she's having this, then what is the symptoms, or what do we need to look for? How do we support her? And if you can't advocate for yourself, because I actually found myself in that situation. I was having radiation as an active breast cancer patient, and I was in a lot of pain and I was having a lot of side effects, but I really could not advocate for myself to get some relief. And I had to have my husband step in and say, time out, I'm going with you because you can't advocate for yourself here. You're just not doing a good job. And so it's just really important. Bring that friend, bring that loved one with you to help. Because receiving help is not a sign of weakness, it's not a vulnerability, it's actually a sign of strength because it's saying that you can't do it alone. And nobody fights alone. We all fight in this together.
Let's get back to this mystery thing. I know you say it's just an idea at this point, but would you consider using a pen name for your mysteries to keep it separate from your nonfiction stuff?
That is actually something I'm thinking about. I am closely identified with breast cancer and pink and all of that. If I dip over to the nonfiction, to the fiction side, I should say, I may pick up a pen name just for a little bit of separation and a little bit of mystery.
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't hurt anything. The only problem is when you do a pen name, which I've done the same thing, you have to create a separate website, a separate social media
Yes.
presence, and that sort of thing. But you can use an avatar if you want.
Well, they have so many different modern technology, little cartoon characters and all that kind of stuff. It's actually cute, but it can be a little overwhelming too.
There is a lot of nice tools out there that are inexpensive or free. And that's
Yes.
my tip for you. So join the Northeast Florida Sisters in Crime group.
Okay.
I'm a member of that as well. I do their website for them and their social media for them. They meet in Ponte Vedras, which is quite
Okay.
distance from you. There's only three Sisters in Crimes chapters. They're on Zoom now.
Okay.
And so that you can attend your first Zoom session on a Saturday if you want. They'll be on it's NE Florida Sisters in Crime.org. The whole thing. You just put it in your search engine and
Okay.
there's a workshop button up there and it says register for or something to the effect to register for the workshop. And when you get your confirmation, there's a Zoom link there. So
You're keyed into all the book knowledge, I see.
I've been a book creator since I was 5 years old. Just ask my teacher. She's always creating books of something. And I love mysteries. I didn't read all the Hardy Boys, but I did do some of the Nancy Drews. I like the Boxcar Children myself. I thought they were a great mystery story. I was an orphan at the time, but I wanted to be several times. Just me and my brother and sisters getting out
Yeah.
solving crimes.
Because they make
And
it sound so they make it sound so exciting in the book.
they were living in a boxcar. They were doing their thing, trying to stay alive. Couldn't do that now. Shouldn't do that now. I really like Dorothy Gilman and Elizabeth Peters, like strong female characters in different situations. And I don't know, that's fine. But anyway, that's my for you. You want to delve into the fiction realm. And so long as it's fun, that's the
Yes.
main thing. The nonfiction books, we usually do it out of passion first, something we feel strongly about and advocate for, and that was what gets us through. And as a fiction writer, the story, creating the characters, and coming up with ways to kill the bad guys and make the good guys wins, you have to have a passion for.
That's true.
As a writer, a new writer that's got her book out there and is advocating for herself, what would be a good tip that you would give to somebody else who's thinking about doing a similar thing? What did you find the most helpful to get your book finished and out there?
The first tip I would give is do it. Don't be fearful. Don't be apprehensive. Don't think I don't have anything to say or no one's going to read it. Get out there and do it. There's a famous quote by Maya Angelou, I believe, that says, if there's a book that you want and it hasn't been, and you can't find it, write it. So I think that would be the first tip is to just jump in and just do it. And the second tip is let people around you know what you're doing. I found that when I let my circle, I let my family, I let my friends know what I was doing, I was put in touch with people who were either already authors. One had a publishing company. One person led me to an illustrator that I'm using now for my coloring book. There's a plethora of talent. There's a plethora of people. There's a plethora of resources. But if you don't communicate, you don't know. Those are my two pieces of advice is just do it, write it. You can always edit it, fix it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And the second part is to just talk. There are resources out there that you don't even know about.
Very good. Excellent advice. And is there anything else that you would like to talk?
I would say that it is just important for everyone to be conscious of their self-care, be conscious of what you need as an individual. It is not selfish to take care of yourself. It is not selfish to just be kind to yourself, whatever you're going through. You could be going through nothing. You could be in a season where everything is roses, sunshines, and unicorn, right? Still be kind to yourself and just be aware that you're loved and that you're cared about. And it's okay to love and care about yourself.
Very good. Well, Miss Cynthia, I hope you had a good time. Thank you for being here.
I
And
sure did.
you've been listening to Jolene's Books and Writers Talk. You'll find links to my guests, their books, and additional resources in the show notes. If this conversation inspired you, follow or subscribe wherever you listen. And join me again next week for another journey into the world of writing.